Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for giving me the floor and the possibility to share our views on the current issue of the agenda. First of all, let me tell you that Romania fully aligns itself to the statement delivered by Slovenia on behalf of the European Union. Mr. Chairman, I am here as a public delegate to share the visions and ideas Romanian youth organizations have on promoting full employment and decent work for all. 3 years ago, in 2005, I joined a national project aiming to monitor and assess the way children's and young people's rights were respected in Romania. The project's main objective was to identify the common problem faced by the young people in my country. It came out that the most recurrent problem is the difficulty in finding a suitable workplace after completion of their studies. I have to admit that at that very time, I did not consider that to be an important issue compared to others. But nowadays, the same as many others from my generation, I am looking forward not to just finish my studies, but rather to find an adequate job in my own country in the domain I have been trained for. I realize, as the days go by, that this problem affecting a substantial share of young people in the world is, in fact, a very serious and stringent one. My country, as a transitional economy, and despite the efforts we all make in this respect, still has to face this kind of difficulties. Mr. Chairman, not only in Romania, but all over the world, young generation is exposed to increasing difficulties in finding proper employment after graduation. Figures indicate that about 1/3 of the working age population in the world does not participate in the labor market at all. Why does this happen? Despite the economic growth around the world, employment opportunities are lagging due to the strange changes on labor markets and the existence of more informal forms of employment. According to the report of the General Secretary on promoting full employment and decent work for all, these alternative opportunities have caused the percentage of informal workers to grow from 40% in the 1980s to more than 50% today, and this mainly occurs in urban areas. Even more, young women are more vulnerable, as the likelihood for them to remain unemployed after graduation is 2/3 greater than for the men. Only few young people managing to get employment after completing their studies go into jobs that pay very few small wages in comparison with the amount of work done. There are too many of them accepting to work on the black market and disregarding risk related to giving up on their social rights like optimal work conditions, social protection, and all of these compromises just for a few pennies more. The right to work lies among the fundamental rights. Why should we pay such an unreasonable price to access it? Why should we compromise on this when we offer the best we have, our energy, visions, and our minds? In Romania, youth employment policies have become a major component of the government's strategies, looking forward to my country's integration in the European structures. Starting with 1995, the Romanian Ministry of Labour, Family and Equal Opportunity, through the National Agency for Employment, together with the Ministry of Education, elaborated a series of programs aimed at reducing youth employment. All these programs focused on counseling and informing young people on their future as employees. In the context of economic and administrative reforms, some other projects have generated a decrease of jobs no longer needed within the public service, and as a direct outcome in reducing the number of those choosing narrow and outlined lines of work. In the last years, efforts to provide equal chances for young men and women by developing new educational curricula and reforming the educational system were carried out by both government and youth organizations, which get better organized from a year to another. Our proposals and actions have been well received by national authorities. The Romanian UN Youth Delegates to the United Nations are transparently selected from the network of youth organizations by national contest, and later on are included in our national delegation to the United Nations by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. While I salute all these initiatives and consider them necessary not only in the field of youth employment, I still believe that the long-term solution for these kinds of issues could be found also in partnerships between governmental, private and social sectors. Public-private partnerships are common in the European Union, especially in the field of services and particularly in the area of public health and education. In Romania, private social partnerships have started being developed in order to find better and more inclusive solutions for social processes affecting economic and social actors. Such solutions have already generated job fairs, specialized websites, counseling offices, and so on, where local and national employment authorities, private companies, and social initiatives collaborate to help find adequate jobs. According to that experience, we have strong reasons to believe that public-private social partnerships should include more universities, technical schools, and private companies. We all know that private enterprises can only partially finance the educational system in our country. And what would be that gain? Private companies could have a say in a curricular elaboration, and meanwhile, they could also contribute to the state's effort in reconvening the outdated lines of work. Such joint efforts would lead to the decrease in youth unemployment, and it would increase the number of skilled young workers adapted to the requirements of the current economic environment. Mr. Chairman, it is widely accepted that young people are among the key actors of the global society that is developing as we speak. A poor handling of youth employment issues could generate, in the coming future, in our own region, but also in the rest of the world, undesirable outcomes. We all know that youth employment is a part and parcel of the Millennium Development Goals, a vital UN initiative in its mid-course. This is why now we believe it is time for us to reaffirm our commitment to the Millennium Development Goals and accelerate our efforts so they can be achieved by the year 2015. Mr. Chairman, we strongly believe that young people can offer valuable inputs to a wide range of youth-related problems. And it would have, of course, been better if more youth delegates had been able to attend the current session of the Committee of Social Development. That is why I wish to kindly ask every member state to make all necessary efforts to include, in the coming years, youth representatives in their national delegations. This in order to facilitate a more in-depth dialogue where diverse youth opinions from all over the world could be heard. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.